Gallup has out a new poll on the main financial problems facing the American people. And they divvied up the responses, based on age. And what's really interesting is that no matter how you break it down, so what I mean by that is no matter which age group you look at, the poll is an overwhelming endorsement of taking the country in a strongly progressive direction. So when it comes to the top financial problems facing American families by age, the 18 to 29-year-old age group, they say number one problem is college expenses and loans. So what have I been saying for the longest time on the show? Why are we not nationalizing college? Now, I love how that's viewed as extreme. Like, a lot of people hear that in modern-day America, and they're like, whoa, man, look at this radical over here. But if you go to any European nation and you bring that up, they're like, right, yeah, no, we already have that. Well, not all European nations, but a lot of European nations have that. And they're like, I mean, it's fucking education. Why would you not have that paid for by tax dollars? I mean, when you think about it, the shit that we spend our tax dollars on in the U.S. always goes to things that we don't see back. Whether it's $4 billion worth of subsidies every year to ExxonMobil, $80 billion to the different big banks, whether it's the war spending we do, giving money to Raytheon and Boeing and KBR and them making shit go boom overseas, and they continue to get middle-class taxpayer dollars to do that. We don't see it come back. In a lot of European nations, the government takes the taxes and puts it toward shit that everybody can agree with. And in the U.S., I mean, we have state taxes and local taxes funding elementary school and middle school and high school, and nobody bats an eyelash at that. They're like, no, of course, that's normal. We should have that. But for whatever reason, when you bring up college, people are like, oh, you crazy liberal, we'll get out of here. But we have over $1 trillion worth of student loan debt. $1 trillion. That's debt that's going to hold back the economy for so long. You have people in their 50s still paying off this stuff because you can't file bankruptcy for student loan debt. So now people who would otherwise be buying, new cars or buying houses or starting their lives and participating in the economy, now they're not because they got to pay off the student loan debts. That's hurting us so badly, hurting the economy and holding the country back. And what's the only solution? The only solution is to fucking wipe the slate clean, have the government step in, nationalize the student loan business, and not just like, hey, we'll give you money and then you pay us back. No, not even that. Nationalize college, period. Should be paid for with tax dollars. And you don't even need to raise taxes to do it. You can reallocate all the stupid money that goes towards war and put it towards college. Put it towards college and healthcare. That's all you got to do. Boom, problem solved, done. Next problem. That's all you got to do, man. It's very simple. And then when you go to age, see, this is where it gets even more telling. Age 30 to 49 years old. Same. Biggest problem, they say, college expenses and loans. Age 30 to 49, college expenses and loans is the biggest problem. All right, when you go to 50 to 64 years old, what's the biggest problem? Healthcare. So the biggest problems facing the American people, student loans and healthcare. What are the two industries that progressives say, hey, look, these things should be paid for by tax dollars, and that's it? College and healthcare. We're right. We have the solutions on our side, and this isn't just anecdotal. If you look at the nations in the world that are most successful, these are two things that they've nationalized. So age 50 to 64, healthcare, biggest problem. 65 and older, healthcare, biggest problem. And they even have Medicare. So if you think about it, even like the fucking co-pays that they still have to pay out of pocket is a problem for those guys. To which I say, right, which is why I would eliminate that. I would just have totally funded by tax dollars. What is it about in the U.S.? We never fucking figure out, okay, this is fully going to be government funded. There's always some sort of line in America where they go, I don't know, we'll fund it, but then you have to also pay $100 when you go to the doctor. But then it's not fucking fully government funded. You're still charging the individual, and that's still going to be a price burden. Could you imagine a grandmother, 82 years old, only has an income from Social Security, and she's got to take a lot of that money and put it towards her fucking blood pressure medication? Is that fair? Does that make sense? I don't think that makes sense. Totally funded. In Britain, did you know that in Britain, let's say you have a baby, for example, in Britain, okay? So you give birth, and then it's time for you to go. You're recovered. You're all set to go. You know what happens? When you're about to leave the hospital, they say, do you need money for transportation to get out of here? So you go to the doctor. You go for a trip to the doctor, and you can net make money. They net give you money. It's no, hey, you're here. Okay, well, let me charge you X amount of money as a copay. Fuck that. The idea of taking money out of your pocket and paying when you go to the doctor, unheard of. Unheard of. So when you look at the biggest problems, this is such a large endorsement of progressive ideology and belief system and policies. And I don't even think the people answering the questions even necessarily knew that. I don't even think they were thinking like, let me be really progressive when I give my answers. It's just that being a progressive actually addresses reality. Or we say, oh, okay, here are the big problems. Well, let's address that. And what are the conservatives doing? You know how they are. They're fucking running around talking about what gays are doing with their cocks.